Hello, I hope you're ready to crochet because I'm ready to teach you. I'm going to start with this yarn. This is Red Heart Super Saver, but the important thing to know is right here on the back. It's a size 4 or a medium, or this is also called a worsted weight yarn. The size of the yarn does have a lot to do with the size of the hook you'll be using. It's gonna tell us right here on the package, you're gonna look for the crochet hook, and it's gonna tell us we need a 5.5 millimeter hook. So I've got that here. Sometimes they're sized with a letter. So in the US, it'll be a size I or a size 9. That's not confusing at all, right? That's okay. So first thing you're gonna do is take the label off the yarn, and you're gonna look for a part of the yarn where you have a little end coming out. Over here, we don't have an end coming out, so we don't wanna pull from there. But here, we do have an end coming out. So let's pull that a little ways. Just wanna make sure there's no big, huge tangles, because that will drive you bananas. And sometimes if you can find the other end of the yarn, it's nice to know that it's not stuck inside and going to get in your way later. The reason I like starting with this size yarn is it's not too bulky and it's not too tiny. This will give you the skills you need to get started with crochet. And then later, if you want to try some other yarns, you can. So step 1 is going to be to make a slip knot. There are a lot of different ways to do that. My favorite way is to wrap it around your fingers. Like you make a peace sign, wrap it around your fingers to where in the back it crosses over, makes that X, and in the front it doesn't. So did you see how I did that? I'm going to kind of hold this down here, make the peace sign, wrap around, make an X, and in the front it's not going to make an X. We're going to slip our hook under the top, grab the second one, pull it up to where it kind of makes that A or that little triangle, and then slip your fingers out. Now you pull on either side and tighten it, and that makes your little loop. We need a loop to start. So if a slip knot is too difficult for you, or if it's just you're not wrapping your head around it right now, it's okay. Make a little loop somehow on your yarn. It doesn't really matter how the loop gets there for a beginner. This is called our yarn tail, and this is called our working yarn. So the working yarn, it's coming off of the skein of yarn, and it's going to be back here. So I'm using a color called Retro Stripe. It's one of my favorites. To start crochet, we are going to make a chain. Now, got your hook in that loop. You're going to kind of use these 3 fingers to hold the tail, and maybe these 2 fingers to hold that working yarn. I like to hold my hook like a pencil. Some people prefer to hold it more like this, like a knife, and that's fine. Whatever works best for you. But we're going to catch this working yarn in our hook and pull it through the loop, and that is 1 chain. We're going to chain 15. So that's 1, and we keep doing that same thing. We pull our working yarn through the hole that we just made. So that's 2, 3, 4. You can kind of move the crook of your hook around to help get through that hole. 5, 6, and I want you to notice that these aren't really tight. When I pull, I've got some good stretch on there, and that's going to be really, really important. Please don't make them too tight. It's better if they are too loose than if they are too tight. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we have just chained 15. A lot of patterns and the way you make different things, generally, this is going to be the width of your piece. So if you want to make a scarf for someone, you might want to chain more. But for now, I'd like you to start with 15. That way we can learn how to crochet, and then you can start planning and making projects. So this is 15. And then we're going to chain one extra. And that's what's called our turning chain. That's going to give us a little boundary at the end of each line. So this is our chain, our foundation chain. This is the beginning of what we're doing, so it needs to be, not real tight, not real funky. We want it to be pretty nice. You can always pull this out and do it again, but I'm going to get started showing you how to crochet. We have all of these little chains, and in each chain you can see there is a place where we have a V on the top, sort of, right? And then there's a little loop coming down. I am going to skip this first one. So when we count chains on our hook, we don't ever count the one that's on the hook. So I'm going to start crocheting in the second chain from the hook. So 1, 2. So I'm going to go right in this hole, and my working yarn that's in the back, I want to pull that back through that very same hole. And now I have 2 loops on my hook, just like that. I'm going to yarn over with my working yarn, and I'm going to pull that working yarn through those 2 loops, and that is 1 stitch. So if we look at the top, this little V right here that we just made, that's a stitch. We're going to continue down the line. It can be very confusing at first to know where you're supposed to go, where the next hole is. Just try. If you go in the wrong hole, it's not going to upend your learning process. You'll get better at this, I promise. Everyone's least favorite part of a crochet project is this first row. So we went in this hole. We know we did because if we pull up, that goes up. So the next one is going to be right here. So I'm going to go in this hole. I'm going to get that yarn and bring it back through. Pull up a little bit to where I have 2 loops on my hook. Then I'm going to take my working yarn, yarn over, and when you come through here, if you try to do this, you're going to catch all those loops, right? So grab it and turn your hook down to come through those 2, and there's your stitch. So now you can see we've got 1, 2 stitches. We're going to do that all the way down. So if this has clicked in your brain and you're ready, take off. If it hasn't, let's talk through it again. Let's find our next hole. Let's just pull a little bit, and you can see up here it's kind of an X, but down here there's a little hole. That's where we're going to go, and we're going to pull that yarn back through, and then we're going to yarn over the hook, put a little tension on it, and then pull it through. And when we get to these 2, we're going to put the head of that hook down so that we don't catch those top yarns. So now we have 1, 2, 3 stitches. Let's move along. There's the next hole. We're going to pull our working yarn through, yarn over, and pull through those 2. Find the next hole, bring our working end back up to where you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through. Find the next hole, push through, bring your working yarn back through, you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, head down, and pull through there. I like to think of it as a little story, like, oh, this little loop here is looking for a friend, and it says, hey, maybe if I stick my head in this hole, I'll find a friend. Hey, there's somebody. Now this one shows up and says, BFFs, friends forever, you're stitched together forever. Now this one needs a friend, so it's gonna look in a hole just like the last one did. It's gonna find this one, bring it through. A new friend comes around, stitches those 2 friends together. So we're gonna go in the hole, bring our yarn back through. We have our 2 friends. We're gonna yarn over, stitch them together. Same thing, find the hole, pull back through. We have our 2 friends, yarn over, stitch them together. And you can kind of pull at your yarn and you can see all those little stitches. You can look this way and you can see the V's from all those stitches that you made, and you can look this way and you can see each stitch. Good times. All right, so let's keep going. I'm going to find my next hole, pull through, yarn over, stitch my 2 friends together. Find my next hole, pull my working yarn back through, yarn over, and stitch those 2 friends together. Hook through, bring it back, yarn over, and stitch those 2 together. If you can't find the next hole, if you're like, is it this one? Is it this one? Oh, it's just too confusing. It is confusing. Go for the one closest to you. So we're going to come back, yarn over, stitch them together. Okay, we're going to go through, come back, yarn over, stitch them together. Now it's getting dicey down here because we don't have a lot to hold on to. And you might be thinking, where's my last hole? Is it this one? Is it this one? It's gonna be the one closest to you down here at the bottom. So we're gonna go through that hole, bring it back, yarn over, and pull through. And my friends, if you get to this point, you have just completed a row. Congratulations. The worst part is over. If you've ever driven a standard vehicle, this is like learning first gear. Congratulations. The hard part is done. If you're not done yet, pause and restart the video when you get to the end. If you need to rewind a little bit, that's great. Do it. This doesn't always click immediately. All right, so if we're at the end of our row, I'm going to show you how to turn. Here we are. We've reached our destination. You're going to flip it around this way, and your working yarn is still going to be behind you. So you want that always coming from behind you. We're going to flip it around, and now we can see our holes pretty easily, right? It's like hole, hole, hole. Pretty easy. You can flip it upward. You can see the V's from the stitches that you've made. When we turn, this is a single crochet stitch. So when we turn, we are going to chain 1 at the end of that row to get us started. That gives us a little more wiggle room right here to get into this hole, and we don't have to stretch our yarn weird. It also gives us a boundary so that we know where the end of our row is. All right, so we're gonna go straight into this hole, pull our working yarn through. There's our 2 friends, just like before. Yarn over and pull through. And there is your first stitch. This line right here is our turning chain. That's gonna help you know when you've reached the end of the row when you come back this way. All right, so now you're just looking for your next hole each time. So there it is. You're gonna go through, bring it back, yarn over, stitch your friends together. Find the hole, go on through, pull your yarn through, yarn over, stitch your friends together. Through the hole, pull it back through, yarn over, stitch your 2 friends together. All right. If you're getting to where this yarn isn't coming out, you can set everything down and pull out some more yarn. You never want a lot of tension coming from your skein of yarn. We always want that to be nice and loose. We don't need that sort of inconvenience in our life. Okay, now we're back. Let's find our next hole. It's right here. We're gonna yarn over, come on up. We've got our 2 loops, yarn over, stitch those friends together. Now, you can see your holes here. If you can't, if you're having to really stretch to see them, try and loosen your tension. If you are working very tightly and holding on very tightly like this and wrenching up your shoulders, crochet is not going to be fun and relaxing for you, and it's probably going to cause you a little bit of pain, and we don't want that because it can be such a relaxing hobby, and I really want you to learn but not hurt yourself. All right, so let's find our next hole. Bring that yarn back through, yarn over, pull through 2. In the hole, bring it back through, yarn over, pull through 2. In the hole, bring the yarn back through, yarn over, head down through those. In, bring the yarn back through, yarn over, hook head down, and pull through 2. So, there it is, my friends. That is single stitch crochet. You may be catching on. You may be very confused. Either way, it's fine. You'll learn. It's not a really easy skill to learn. I know some people will say, oh, it's so easy, but I think they don't remember how it wasn't really easy when they started. All right, now I'm getting toward the end, and we may be wondering, is that the last stitch? Where am I? What are we doing? Find your hole over here. Just remember, look for your hole. There's the hole. Bring the yarn back through, yarn over, and pull through the 2. When we look, if you kind of push the edge of this forward, you can see that turn right there. That's not a stitch. This is your last stitch, these 2. So you're going to go under these 2, bring your yarn over, pull it back through. There's your 2 friends, yarn over, and pull through 2. Now that we are at the end of a row, you remember what we're going to do? Same exact thing. Yarn over, chain up 1, and flip. And it doesn't matter if you flip first or if you chain first, as long as you do both things. We always want this working yarn behind us. So now we did our turning chain. We're going to find our first hole, go in, bring it up, yarn over, and pull through 2. So we are raring to go down the end of this row. I tell you what, try and work on your own, just listening to me. I'm going to go at a little bit of a faster speed. You might get to this end before me, or you might not get to this end as quickly as me. So adjust your video accordingly. You can fast forward or you can rewind or pause, but I'm going to work so you can kind of see what it looks like in regular process. As you learn, as it clicks in your brain, you'll develop a rhythm. You'll be able to do this while you are watching TV, talking to people. You won't have to think so hard about it. But that comes in time. That doesn't usually happen the first day that you try crochet. Maybe you're just really awesome and it's going to happen for you, but it didn't happen for me. And most of the people I teach, it takes them about, depending on how much time they have to spend on it, it's going to take about a week before you're feeling natural at this. And you still might kind of mess up a little bit, do the wrong thing, and go, wait a minute, where am I? And when that happens, I want you to just come back to this video, take a look, and see if you can figure it out. All right. You'll notice this is curling a little. crochet kind of naturally curls because of what we're doing to the yarn. And oftentimes we don't want it to curl. We want it to be straightened out. So we can just kind of pull it, flatten it, stretch it, smush it down. It'll straighten out for us as we build on it. But if you're making something that has curly hair, or you're making a jellyfish that has curly little legs, that twisting motion, we can exaggerate it. So we can kind of push and it gets real twirly. So that's fun. All right, I am at the end, and I know that because I see that turning chain. Do you see it? It's right there. These go horizontally, but this one is a little more vertical. So I know that that is my last stitch. So I'm going to go under, pull that back up, stitch my two friends together. All right, and then we're going to flip it so that we're working back the other way. And I'm going to make my turning chain and then start again. So let's do one more row slowly, and I'll talk you through the rhythm that's in my head when I'm crocheting. I'm going to pull this out of the skein a little bit more though. And you don't want to pull too much out at one time, because if you do that, it's going to get tangled while you're waiting for it. And that's annoying. All right, here I go. I'm going to go in the hole, pull back through, yarn over, stitch together. In the hole, pull back through, yarn over, stitch together. In the hole, coming back through, yarn over, stitch together. In the hole, pull back through, yarn over, stitch together. If you're using a color of yarn like black, dark purple, dark blue, something that is really, really dark, it might be harder to see the parts of the stitches that you're looking for. I like to recommend that people start out with a yarn color that is neither white or black or very, very dark. Like a light yellow, light pink, those are okay because you can usually see the parts of the stitches that you're looking for. But sometimes if it's too white, like if it's a very, very bright white, you might not be able to see them. It's also kind of hard to learn on yarns that are too stretchy, like that t-shirt yarn you may have seen, or yarns that are very floofy, like chenille, or yarns that have a lot of what we call halo, like that have a big, kind of like a lot of floof around them. They can get real caught up on each other. Some of the yarns that you feel in the store like this, they're not as soft, but they are made with what's called sizing. It's the same stuff that they put on clothing when it's manufactured. It keeps the fibers together and helps us work with it. If you wash it, that sizing comes out and the yarn is a lot softer, especially this particular brand. I think people think that it doesn't get soft, but for me, it does if I put it through the washer and the dryer. All right, last stitch. And how do we know? Because we have the turning chain there that we can see. So let's yarn over, come back through, yarn over, pull on up, and that's our last one. So let's add our turning chain, flip it around, make sure that our working yarn is in the back, and let's do one more row of single crochet, and then I'm going to level you up and teach you double crochet. So for single, we're still going in that first hole, coming through, stitching our two friends together. And if you don't like to hold your needle the way I'm holding mine, some people do like to hold it this way, and they kind of go through like this, and they do a little more of an arm crochet. I have big meaty hands, so I don't love this method of crochet. It doesn't feel natural to me, but I'm not going to insist that you do everything precisely the way I do, because some people it's just more comfortable to hold it the other way. I have seen people who kind of work upright like this, but I'm not going to teach that way because I don't love it. I like where I can see the front, I can see my little holes that are coming through, and this is the way that my body likes to do it. So through, come on up and around, in, back through, up and around. in, back through, up and around, in, back through, up and around. Where our yarn is, the yarn is twisty like this, right? But sometimes you'll accidentally get it'll get wonky like this. And you'll go in, you'll try to be working, and you'll hit to where you kind of only take a few and you get all messed up. If that happens, I want you to take your hook out, find the last place that the yarn wasn't being all unwindy, put your hook in there, and then come over here and twist that yarn really, really nicely in the direction of the twist, and then just kind of pull that back. That's going to help get your fibers back together. That can be really frustrating because it feels like you have to pull really hard on the yarn because something's stuck. I always prefer to just undo it and go back and figure out where I messed up, where I lost a little piece of my yarn along the way. All right, last stitch. And how do I know, my friends? Because there is my little vertical indicator that was where I turned. So it's going to be here. And if you're having trouble on this last stitch getting through, you can always push your hook all the way to the fat part and kind of pull up. And that way it kind of opens that up a little bit. We've basically tied a bunch of knots in this, so it's not like we're gonna hurt it, especially with acrylic yarn because it's pretty strong. All right, so this is single crochet. If you are feeling like you don't quite have this yet, keep trying. Do a few more lines of single crochet until it feels more natural. But for those of you who are ready to move on, I'm going to show you double crochet. So let's go ahead and flip around, pull our working yarn to the back. And when we do single crochet, we do one turning chain. But when we do double, we do 2 turning chains. So you're chaining 2 instead of just 1. And before we find our hole, before we go in the hole, we're going to yarn over once. Then we find our hole, we go in, we bring that yarn back through, and we have 3 loops on that hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2 of them to where we have 2 loops left on the hook. We're going to then yarn over again and pull through those last 2, and that makes a little taller of a stitch. You can sort of tell now, but let's do some more. All right, remember we're going to yarn over, go through our hole, bring that yarn right back through the same hole to where we have 3 loops on the hook. That's right, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the second 2. So there, now we have this is our turning chain, and then we have 2 stitches. So we're going to keep going like that. So we'll yarn over. Ooh, exciting. My yarn is changing color. Yarn over, go through the hole, pull that yarn back through to where you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over again, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the second 2. Yarn over, find your hole, pull back through. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the second 2. So you can see we have, what do we have now? We have 4 stitches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and our turning chain. And the exciting moment when my yarn started to change colors. All right, let's keep going. If this is messing with your head, that's okay. You'll learn to love it. Double is my favorite stitch. You can see how it's a little bit looser than the single crochet. Single crochet is very close together. So if you're making a little stuffed animal or something like that, you want it close together because you don't want that stuffing to come out. If you're making a blanket though, or something maybe to wear, you might want it to lay a little more nicely, and you might want a little give. So a double crochet is great for that. All right, let's yarn over, go in our hole, bring our yarn back through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. All right, is it feeling natural yet? If it is, bravo. If it's not, that's all right. I love double crochet. I really get into the rhythm of it. Okay, so let's yarn over, go into that hole, pull our yarn back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So I'm getting a little tension from my skein again, so I'm going to pull some yarn out of there. The sun has come over to this side of the house. You can see it coming through the window. Hopefully that's not messing with the video. All right, here we are back again. So we're going to go yarn over, find our hole, bring that yarn back through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in the hole, bring your yarn back through to where you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, in the hole, come back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Here we go. I'm going to do another one in slow motion for you. Yarn over, in the hole, pull the yarn back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then in my regular speed, goes a little more quickly. And I'm a little more likely to split the threads and have problems when I move quickly. But let's go. And then I'm going to know when I get to the last stitch in exactly the same way as when I did single crochet. I have the V here and I have that little vertical line telling me last stitch, stop, don't go past here. So I'm going to yarn over, go in that hole, come back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's the end of my first row of double crochet. Way to go. If you're not there yet, go ahead and pause, finish up, and when you get to the end, hit play, and I'll show you how to turn. So for turning, like I said, you can chain your 2 here, or you can flippy flop it first and then do it. But I'm going to chain 1, 2, flip it around, and then the first stitch, when I pull up on everything and kind of stretch out, the first stitch is going to go right in that hole. So we're going to yarn over, go straight in that hole, pull back through, yarn over, pull through those 2, yarn over, pull through those 2, yarn over, find the next hole. There it is. 3 on the hook, pull through 2, pull through 2. Keep working on that, keep going. And if you're finding it easy, if you're finding it very rhythmic and fun, I'm so happy for you. If you are finding it a little bit frustrating and you're very confused, I'm happy that you're still with me and you're still trying. So let's just keep going. We're going to yarn over, find our next hole, pull that yarn through, yarn over, pull through those 2, yarn over, and pull through those 2. Now sometimes if you're going kind of quickly, you might accidentally kind of go, oh wait, where? I don't have another one to pull through. That's because you went a little too quickly and you pulled through all 3 loops. And that actually is called a half double, but that's not what we're learning right now. So just pull it back through to where you have your 2, yarn over, and come on down. Whoops, I was in single crochet mode. All right, I'm gonna yarn over first, go through, pull back through, 2, 2, yarn over, in the hole, pull back through, yarn over, 1, 2, yarn over in the hole, 1, 2, yarn over, 1, 2. So single crochet and double crochet are kind of like learning some letters in the alphabet before you're able to write big words, before you're able to write sentences. Sort of like learning to get out of first gear when you're driving a standard vehicle. All right, so if you put it down now, there's 2 rows of double. So can you see how much closer together the single stitch is and how the double is getting a little bit wider? It's a little nicer. Okay. Did I hit the end? Yes, because I can't find another good V there. I just have this little twisty twist, which is our turning chain. So I'm gonna chain 2, flip it around, and start again. So work through this row at your own pace. Meet me at the end. I'll talk to you a little bit about some of the reasons I like crochet. You can make fun, colorful gifts. It's an art form. You get to make a lot of artistic choices in crochet, but you can give your gifts away if you want to, or you can wear them. They're soft, they're squishy, they're cuddly. You can make cute stuff. You can always have a stash of things to give as gifts if you want to. And if you need to mail them to people, they're not going to break. You can just stick them in an envelope or a box, send them. You could even use them as padding if you were going to send somebody something that might break. Acrylic yarn is made out of plastic, but the reason I like using it is I know no one's going to be allergic to acrylic yarn, like natural fibers. And I know it's going to wash really well and hold up nicely. So, all right, I'm at my end, and it can be tempting to go in that turning chain. That's not what we're going to do. I'm going to find our last stitch, which is the V right here. We're going to go in that one. All right, need to pull some yarn out of here again. Whee! Let's do another row of double crochet together. So I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. I want to flip it around. And when you pull up, we can tell that our first hole is right here. So when we pull up, we're not really acting on this hole. We're just pulling that side chain up. So let's go right in there. Whoops, I forgot I was doing double. You have to remind me, folks. All right, yarn over, go in, come back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're gonna go right back down here. You've probably noticed that I'm a bit of a nail biter, a bit of a skin picker. Crochet helps me tremendously with not messing with my cuticles, not messing with my fingernails, wanting them to be nice so that they don't stick on the yarn and cause me any hang-ups when I'm trying to crochet. If I'm working on a big crochet project, at the end of it, I usually have incredibly beautiful fingernails. Right now, it's not one of those times, but maybe in a couple of weeks, I will look like a hand model. Probably not, but my nails should look better. I thought about putting on some fake nails to make this video, but then I thought to myself, I don't know, maybe these people are nail biters. Maybe they have a hard time. Let's show reality, folks. That's what we're doing. All right, so I've come to the end because if I pull up on this, I see this going the other way. So that's my last stitch, up, up, and my friends, that's double crochet. So we're looking, and you can see it's kind of trending inward. I can pull a little bit and straighten it out. Now, if your piece is going literally into a triangle, that might mean that you're dropping some stitches on the edge, so you'll just need to maybe work on figuring out where the end is. Now, let's level up once again. If you don't feel like leveling up, that's okay. Keep doing double or keep doing single if that's what you're doing. But I'm going to show you triple crochet. It's also called treble, but it's triple, treble, same exact thing. So it's a triple. So we're going to chain 3 for our turning chain. That's important because 1, 2, 3, flip. That's important because a triple crochet is even taller than a double crochet. So that's why we want those 3, so that our standing chain here, that's our little starting standing chain, it's going to be as tall as our stitch. Now, this is where we start getting a little bit impressive. 1, 2, don't try to do this while you're watching me. Let me do it and then you can do it. So I went around 2 times. I'm going to go in my hole, bring my yarn back through, and I have 4 loops on my hook. We are going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that's a triple crochet. Look how big that stitch is. It's really tall, but let's keep going. So we're going to go twist, twist, go in through the hole, bring your yarn back through to where you have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. There's a second. Yarn over, yarn over. Now we have our double twist. Go into the hole, come back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Twisty, twisty. In the hole, come back through. We have 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you can see how with each level, so this was single, double, and triple, each time we are getting more and more big holes. You guys, I skipped a stitch. Look at that. I have been doing this for so long and I skipped a stitch. The way I know that is this hole's a little bigger. I went here, I did not go there. Look at that, I skipped that stitch. It's not super important. It just means I'm gonna have 1 less stitch than I did than I did here. So I decreased by 1 because I skipped that one. You probably didn't notice that, did you? See, people don't always notice it, and that's all right. Crochet is pretty forgiving. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how much of a perfectionist you are, but it's pretty forgiving. You can usually recover from pretty much anything. But let's go back to our triple. Twist, twist, in the hole, come back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, twist, twist, through the hole, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, twist, twist, in the hole, 4 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's what the triple is looking like. Pretty fun. I like triple crochet. I wouldn't ever make a whole blanket out of triple, probably. Not with this yarn anyway. What I like about it is how big it makes the holes and how it's very twisty and fun looking. Sometimes if I'm making a blanket like for a little kid and I know they're gonna wanna like put their fingers through the holes and they're gonna wanna squish their little toes through the holes. I mean, maybe not a kid. That's something I would do. And I'm 50. So, you know, could be fun for anyone. Twist, twist through the hole, back up. 1, 2, 3. Twist, twist through the hole. 4 loops on the hook. First 2, second 2, and third. To my knowledge, we do not utilize a quadruple crochet, but I guess if you were feeling frisky enough, you could try it. It's not something you see in a pattern, or that I've seen in a pattern. All right, after this row of triple crochet, I hope you're having fun doing this. I really feel like you're getting the hang of it. If you're not, don't worry. I think sometimes, you know, if you're too tired or you're too frustrated and you're trying to learn a skill, your brain is like, excuse me, we are not doing this right now. I will have you know, I'm exhausted and I don't feel like accommodating your need to learn this skill. You know, sometimes you just need to take a nap, and that's okay. Refresh, wake up in the morning, try it again, and it might be a little easier. Sometimes if I'm working on a kind of a complicated pattern and it's late in the evening, I just give up. And then I wake up in the morning and I'm having my morning drink, sitting in the sun, petting my dog, and I look at the pattern and I think to myself, wow, I must have really been tired because this is not that hard. I get it. Or maybe my brain has had time to subconsciously think about it and I've rested and I can do it. All right, so we have single, double, and treble. Now I'm going to show you half double. And after triple, I think you're going to really appreciate how simple half double is. So because it's a kind of double, we're still going to put 2 in our turning chain. So let's go 1, 2, and a half double crochet. We're going to yarn over just like in a double. We're going to go in our hole, we're going to come back through, and we have those 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, we're pulling through. Catastrophe. Okay, back to where we were. We're going to yarn over and we are pulling through all 3. That is a half double. So yarn over, in the hole, come on back through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and just pull through all 3. Kind of like you might have accidentally done when you were trying to double crochet. We don't know. All right, so let's try that on the rest of this row. Come on up, yarn over, pull through all 3. Get in there, come on back, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And you can do all of your motion with this hand, or your other hand can help you. You can pull with this hand, or a little bit of both. Whatever works for you, whatever's good. What I like about half double is it's a little more interesting than single, and it makes sort of like a fat stitch. If you feel your single, double, triple, it's not as squishy as the half double. So different stitches have different uses. And once you've done a lot of other people's patterns, it might become evident to you what you would use if you were making up your own pattern. I like to learn from other people's patterns because usually they have a little more experience than me, and they have done the troubleshooting, and I know that their pattern's going to work well. All right. We've come to the end of our half double round. So you can kind of look and you can see all the difference. So single, double, triple, and half double. So go through them, kind of feel them, feel which ones are squishier, and just note the differences. Now I know that the sides look weird, but I'm not too terribly worried about that. We have those turning chains sticking out a little bit. When you are finishing a project, you can always go back and you can just crochet like a little row around the outside, and that'll finish it up nicely. When you come to the super very end, you can just come up like this. And wow, if I had scissors, I would show you, but you basically cut right here and you just keep pulling and it ties a nice little knot. So here we have it. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about crochet. If your crochet looks like Swiss cheese and it's very uneven and loopy and weird and you've skipped stitches, you still get a lot of bravo from me because you've made it, you've tried, you're getting it down. Give yourself a couple of weeks before you start thinking, oh, this is never going to work. I know that it will work for you. And sometimes you may need to find somebody who knows how to crochet so that they can show you in person and help you get your hands and your tension and everything worked out. That can be really helpful. All right. So this was your very, very beginner crochet lesson. I'm going to make more videos. I'm going to show you how to crochet things that are round. I will show you how to do increases and decreases, and I'll show you some other fun stitches. So be sure to look at the other videos that I have. And if there's anything that you want to learn and you can't find a great video about it, you can always drop me a little message and I'll see what I can do to help you out. So happy crocheting. I believe in you. I know that you can do this. Even if you're overwhelmed and you're stressed out and you feel like your body is betraying you because you're exhausted and maybe you're having some pain, it's okay to simply watch this. It's okay to not do the action right now. But when you're feeling a little better, feeling a little more capable, pick up your yarn, pick up your hook, and give it a try. There's no consequence to not doing crochet correctly. This is for you. It's not for a contest. It's not for a grade. It doesn't matter how quickly someone else is learning or any of that. I want you to think to yourself, let's feel peaceful about this. And if you have stayed with me for this long and you are still awake and you haven't fallen asleep because of my boring jibber jabber, thank you. And if you're just plugging along, working on your crochet, feeling good, that's amazing. Happy crocheting, my friends. You can do this.